Welcome to Mr. Tien channel. In the early morning of September 21st, the city started a new day with a bustling rhythm. Traffic lights flashed, car horns blared, and people rushed through the crowded streets. But in that scene, there was one place that stood out in particular, not only because of its tension but also because of the life and death moments that happen every day. The train barriers at the intersection near the central station. Right at rush hour, when everyone was rushing to work or school, the train barriers became a terrifying challenge. The train horns sounded regularly, signaling that the train was approaching. This railway section was not long, but it was an invisible barrier for those racing against time. A few seconds before the barrier lowered, no one wanted to stop, but tried to cross, even though the risk was lurking. The moment came quickly, when a middle-aged man, dressed in a neat suit, decided to rush across the tracks even though the barrier was slowly lowering. He quickly crossed, and just a few seconds later, the train's headlights flashed in the distance. The train whistle sounded like a final warning, and the train passed by at a terrifying speed, just a few meters away from him. The passers-by breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time, everyone felt cold at that reckless action. In these moments, everything seemed to freeze. Not because of the silence, but because of the feeling of anxiety and tension that filled the air. The people waiting on this side of the track held their breath to watch the train, and then their eyes averted when they looked at each other, as if they themselves would be the next to join the race against time. This scene was not uncommon. Every morning, when the trains rushed by, the flow of people was interrupted, creating a feeling of extreme urgency. Some people will accept the wait, but many others want to cross the thin line between safety and danger. This creates heart-stopping moments that no one can forget. On the morning of September 21st, a group of high school students were also stuck at the train barrier. Dressed in their school uniforms, they chatted as they watched the barrier slowly lower. One of them, unable to bear the weight, tried to rush across. But as soon as his first step touched the tracks, a friend pulled him back. The group laughed lightly, but there was an undisguised panic in their eyes. They may not have fully understood the extent of the danger, but they certainly felt that things Another image that stood out that morning was that of a young mother with two small children. As the barrier began to lower, she quickly grabbed the children's hands, not allowing them to take another step forward. She resolutely waited for the train to pass, even though her older child seemed impatient. There was worry in her eyes, but also determination. Nothing was worth risking the lives of her children. That moment, though simple, created a clear lesson about patience and protecting the sack. Modern life seems to always require us to be in a hurry. But it is that very urgency that puts us in dangerous situations. Rush hour train barriers are not only a physical barrier, but also a psychological test for those who are in a hurry. When the train whistle blows, many people are faced with the decision, should they wait another minute or ignore everything and go through? A young man, with music in his ears, approached the barrier. He looked around, seemingly considering whether he could cross. But then he decided to stop. At that moment, no one might notice, but for him, it was a difficult decision. With all the pressures of life and work, having to stop and wait sometimes feels like a failure. But in this case, it was a victory of reason. The last train passed, and the barrier slowly rose. The stream of people continued their journey, but the moments of waiting left a mark on everyone's mind. On the morning of September 21st, under the gentle sunlight of the early morning, life and death races took place at the barrier, but fortunately, no one had to pay the price. These heart-stopping moments, although they happen every day, are always a vivid reminder of the fragility of life. The morning of September 21st was just another day, but for those who experienced the tense moments at the train crossing, it will be a lasting memory. With each passing train, with each blast of the train whistle, perhaps we should stop, listen and reflect on the value of patience and safety. Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for more great destinations. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next videos.